Hey, everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad to have you guys here today, Empowered Family Network. I've got a very, very special guest here with us today, my good friend, Brett Morris. Brett, thank you so much for joining us today and taking your time out to share with us your words of wisdom.
Thank you, Eric. I don't know if they're wise, but I appreciate your words and your effort, and I just feel your energy every time I talk to you. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, for our friends and family around the world, Brett, you have a really, really amazing story. You've had some challenges in your life, and I know today you're really coming from that space of vulnerability to say, "Hey, here's some things that have happened to me. If this is showing up in your family, well, first of all, we're with you, number one, and number two, here's what you might consider along the way with that with those challenges. So please, time is yours, Brett. Please feel free to share your story with us, and we're excited to hear.
Well, thank you. The first message that I have is one of hope. Regardless of where you've been or what's happened, there is hope. And my story kind of starts when I was about 6 years old. I fell off of a slide about 10 feet onto a concrete block and broke my neck. Now, we didn't know it was broken, and the doctors back then just kind of checked you out and said, okay, you're fine, go home. And they didn't really x-ray it, and it ended up being broken, but it healed broken. And so, later on when I was about 22, they had to re-break it. But growing up, I lived in an abusive household. I had my arm broken by my dad. Several different things happened. I mean, I learned a lot from him. I love him to death, and it's been nothing but forgiveness, and I appreciate everything that he did for me. But still, it was a little bit of a traumatic experience for me. And I've had multiple diagnoses with neurodiversity, ADHD, and PTSD, and among some other things that just I feel like I kind of march to a different drum sometimes. And that's been difficult also growing up in special education, being made fun of and, being called names and things. That was pretty traumatic. And, but to where I was 22 years old, my neck was rebroken. And that's kind of when I was introduced to painkillers and some different things, which was kind of a gateway into some other things. And that kind of took on a whole new life and just became my life, with depression and those early childhood experiences. I didn't know really quite how to digest some of the things that went on in my life, other than to just deaden the pain with drugs and addiction. And after that, those drugs and addictions just make bad choices with the mindset that you have, and it just kind of wreaked havoc in my life, in relationships. I mean, I was married twice. It was kind of all about me. Like, what can you do for me? And that's, I think sometimes we all kind of get into that mentality, and in jobs, I that doesn't work in real life. The the victim mentality of, all of these things are happening and I can't do anything about it, and so I'm just going to stay where I'm at. There's a saying, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always gotten. And I'd kind of like to change that a little bit. If I to place it on me, if I always think like I've always thought, I'll always be who I've always been. And for me, the kind of the change came. I got in a car wreck. I was losing my home. I was in another broken relationship, and I just kind of decided that I was going to own the not the circumstances, because you can't change what's going on the outside. I decided I would take ownership of what was going on the inside, my thinking, my victim mindset, my desire to change. And luckily there have been people in my life that have empowered me with that. And there's a quote by Gordon B. Hinckley. I feel like it applies to all facets of life. He said, if you're struggling, forget yourself and go to work. And I mean, isn't that true for everything? If I forget, all of the pain or suffering that I'm going through and I serve others, do not then I find joy within myself and I can change who I am. And I feel like that was a big catalyst for my change. And my mission has kind of turned from, self-indulgence and blame and egotism into love and service and hard work. And I feel like that is the secret sauce to life, is looking within yourself, finding the changes that you need to make, and then putting the effort in to changing. And I'm not saying that I have this hard background and it's this magic thing that I've changed. I feel like we all have pain. We all have something that we're carrying, and we all have issues that we're dealing with. But when we realize that we're the only person on earth that can take action and change that, we can't expect change to come through circumstances and other people and like expecting somebody. I think I kind of lived up until about 6 years ago waiting for the cavalry to come to save me, not realizing that I'm the cavalry. So that's kind of been the story up until, maybe 6 years ago, and then going through drug rehab and deciding if I'm going to do anything different, if I'm going to be a different person, if my circumstances are going to change, I have to own my life. I have to change the way that I think. I have to make a new paradigm. Love. I have a friend who put it beautifully. She has a mantra when she gets done praying with her family in the morning: love, trust, and work hard. And I feel like that is kind of the secret sauce that we can all live by in life to lead a happier life. So hopefully that kind of answers your question just a little bit, but I love life now. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to do whatever it is that's next. And I'm just thrilled to have the opportunity to do that.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing, Brett. Thank you so much for sharing that. I mean, gosh, you guys, I listened to that. What a story of tragedy to triumph. We hear these types of stories all the time, but to hear it firsthand from somebody who is in the room with us is so special. And the fact that, Brett, you're here being vulnerable with us and sharing your past experiences with us. And I love, love, love. And I hope you guys all caught that. He let out with, this is a story of hope. And even though you have gone through many challenges and let's be honest, still continue to go through challenges. That's life, right? We're all going through challenges. And yet you have set and created a system aligned for you through hope, that you understand your struggles, you understand what needs to be done for you to really triumph on a daily basis, and not allow the mindset to hinder you from becoming and being who you were created to be and want to be. So now you're into this space. You've come through amazing growth. What's next? Like, what do you see on your horizon for Brett?
Well, I really liked that you mentioned mindset, and having talked to you before, I know that that's very important to you and your message, and I that really resonates with me. One of the things that you taught me a little while ago that I often ask myself since then, am I being authentic right now in what I'm doing? Am I being authentic? Am I being present? Am I thinking about the future and having anxiety? Am I carrying the weight of the past with me? And so when you ask what's in the future, authenticity. I've started a march towards getting personal training certification. I'm going through training for life coaching. I've started a website. I'm writing a book. I'm just absolutely uh, well. Let me say this: I firmly believe that if it's humanly possible, you or I or anybody watching can do it. So, as you know, Tony Robbins, one of my favorite quotes that he has is "Don't should all over yourself." Right? There's shoulds that the world puts on you, but what is it that you want? What is it that you're passionate about? And what is it that you can go for? And those are some of the things that I'm passionate about: exercise, um, finances, helping people realize that their potential is absolutely unlimited, and realizing that mine is too. What is it that you want? And play like Kobe Bryant until you get it. No one could stop him. No one can stop you.
That's awesome. That's amazing. I love it. I love it. You're firing me up here this morning, my brother. I love it. That's fantastic. So Brett's in our group here, the Empowered Family Network, and I know he would love to chat with anybody that has any questions or any thoughts for Brett. He's such, and I love that you talked about authenticity because he is an authentic guy. He would love to answer and support you in any way, shape, or form. Your website, is it up and running?
It is 30 days to a new life.
30
30.com.
30 days to a new life. That's it. .com. .com.
All
Don't
right.
forget the .com. 30 days to a new life.com. There you have it, friends and family. Brett, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate your time and your amazing story of hope. And we sincerely wish you all the best. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Eric. Have a great day. I appreciate it.
You got it.